Great. Thank you for joining, first of all. So, this meeting primarily is to formally close the workshop. So, we've been working on last 10 days. So, I'm super curious to hear about what happened. Were you able to follow through the exercise that I gave? Any feedbacks? I know, Shiva, you did send me a video, but then it will be interesting to hear. இங்கேயும் கேட்கறதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்காக இருக்கும். So if you can, oh, thanks, Mr. Robinson, for joining. Coming on a video, I think it looks like as if I'm talking all alone, right? So nice to see you. So it'll be really interesting to hear from you all on how did it go? Was it useful? Did any transformation happen? அது மாதிரிலாம் கொஞ்சம் தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னு எனக்கு ஒரு கியூரியாசிட்டி இருக்கு. So please do. Hi, Kritika. Thanks for joining. I think her audio is connecting. Hi, Kritika. Thanks for joining. So I just kickstarted.
Sure.
Hi. So if you can come on a video, it will be really great.
Yes, give me a moment.
No problem. So you can go ahead and share your experience through this workshop. I'm only experimenting it. So I'm happy to course correct. The course corrections, I'm happy to course correct because I'm going to go to a wider audience.
Okay. So, one second. Hey, Usha. And hi, everyone. So I had a pretty good time doing all the exercises. So the only area I think I had a little challenge was the podcast and speed or the pace of it. I think I conveyed that with a personal message. So that's the area that I personally had a little challenge with. But I think you had framed the exercises very short and sweet so that it was doable for anyone who's having a complete packed day. Yet they could take some time and address those issues. And the way we went, like each of those challenges, right? I think they were somewhat meaningful to the journey of people. Most people, need those kind of topics. Meaning, it overlaps with many of us. Is what I mean. So they're very common and prevalent among us, especially the procrastination and the focus areas. Um, so the exercises that we did, I think a couple of exercises could have been deeper, meaning compelling. So I think you were lenient in a way where you gave us a choice, but it also makes sense, right? When you want to really change, is when a person will opt in and they will take the initiative. However, I was just thinking, should you have given this exercise to me maybe about 6 months or something ago, I may not have had that self motivation to do it. So now I'm at a stage where I really want to change. So I was doing my exercises with self push. But I was just thinking, what if people are still in the stage where they need someone to pull them out? You know, should can the exercises be designed that way? Was one kind of thought that I had. Yeah, that was pretty much it. And when exercises like the Pomodoro technique or the fact that you want us to focus on one particular area, it's free will. Where if there is a situation we can do or we may not do. I would suggest, or my feedback for those kind of exercises would be to frame it in such a way where they have to do something so that they end up doing it. After the 10 days they will have that, oh yes, I did it once in the exercise, so I'll be able to do it the next time also, kind of creating evidence for themselves to be able to do it further by their own.
Okay. See, it's very nice feedback that you're giving, right? But first of all, congrats for completing all the exercises. Right? It's not easy because you're doing a difference in the way you're thinking. You're changing your perception. Sometimes the truth hits you very hard, right? So you'll have to really be aware, digest that, and you have to become comfortable to do any changes, right? So that's why if people ask me, why is it 10 days? Why can't you do it in 2 hours and 3 hours? We cannot do it in 2 hours and 3 hours. In fact, what I'm doing is I'm even this 10 days with different barriers. I was talking to Shivakumar earlier this day. This 10 days, different barriers itself is too much to handle. So if you look at it, my next batch is I'm only talking about comfort zone, moving out of the comfort zone. I'm not touching any of the other barriers. So you can
Hmm.
only give a little dosage every day for you to
True.
first of all be aware, digest, and then change. Right?
Yes, I agree
And
with it.
yeah, the moment I force you, I think you're going to log off from WhatsApp. That's why I didn't force
True.
anybody. You saw a few people logged off, right? The moment I asked, "Did you do this? Did you do this?" And the polling and all is only for that. So it's not that I'm trying to put anyone on spot, but at the same time, if you see six people giving a poll of yeah, I've completed this. Oh, when this person can find time, why not I? That's a healthy competition that you try and create, and like you rightly said, you can do it at any part of the day, right? Finding
Yes.
about if you cannot find 10 minutes for you to do something that you wanted to do, and what kind of a change are you expecting in your life is the question that each of us has to ask ourselves, right?
True.
So
True.
good.
And
So,
also the fact
yeah.
that it was very short actually made it possible for all of us to, I mean, most of us to attend to it. Because should it be 1 hour or something, or say bigger task, I think in today's scenario, to be able to take away that time from the routine becomes a procrastinating motivator in itself. So like அவ்ளோ பெருசா இருக்கு. Should I do it in the after lunch, before lunch, or after dinner, kind of pushing it away. So since it was 10 minutes or nearly close to that, we were pretty sure, okay, we'll be able to complete it, so let's do it.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's how it's been planned. I didn't want this to go beyond 15 minutes. So, in my opinion, audio is 5 minutes. Audio is to give you a different perspective of what am I talking about time management, or what am I talking about focus. So, when you hear that, then it becomes easy to recall and write what is your area of focus. So, that's why it goes hand in hand. By the way, I've taken a note of your podcast feedback and I'll slow down further. Thank you. Thanks for that, Kritika. Wonderful. Sir, Robinson, sir.
Yeah. So uh, first day it it has pushed me hard, and what you said that it is true that putting the people on the spot. I was also a little worried. So as Kritika said that procrastination was throughout the journey, but then after that I started putting in my calendar and start sitting and working on those. That was the one thing which I learned in the very early stage. Then slowly, when it comes to the focus was which was the turnaround. I set aside all other works. I even canceled one of my regular meeting and done this. That was made me to prioritize what is important, and over and above few of the things which was really invisible. So when you brought up those concepts, then I was thinking, yeah, why it was not surface in my brain, and it came up. Then I felt it is important. So which I was missing. That it was a invisible one, invisible barriers which it brought to our notice. And few of the incident you asked us to speak to someone who we should thank for something which they did. So when I called my first friend, it was so artificial. He was saying, "What are you saying? We never talked on this, wavelength, because he has done. I know, and what we have been, you know, I had a college friend from the studying those days onwards. We are together. I worked in the same company, so lot of things which we have exchanged. So finally, he was saying that then I felt and I feel that what I conveying, then he also uh, he accepted, and then it was a different emotional kind of things. A lot more things has changed in this, and what Prithia said, I am going to repeat the cycle again very frequently, so that it has its own, first time, every time it may not be the same thing. It is going to be a build upon the things that is going to happen. And the last, what you said is that reward yourself. No, that was no, never thought of on that angle. Rewarding ourselves. Always we think about somebody else, spouse or child, or boss, or colleague. So reward yourself is something different. First time I was, realized here, but this time I could able to realize, and phenomenally I have gone through a transformation. It is helpful for my professional. Thank you very much. And
so nice to hear this. So this is what happens. I remember I was talking about those breaking invisible barriers in one of the forum in my in a different organization, and there were about 25 women. Yeah, it was 25 women close to. And the state of mind when we spoke, when the realization hit them, few of them started crying. Right? Whatever we've been going through this last 10 days, everything you're already aware. It's nothing new that I mean, I shouldn't even call that, I taught you something like that. It's just that, like a mirror, I reflected, I showed you something that, hey, listen, you're missing this. Why don't you go ahead and look at it in a very structured way to recognize that there is so much of emotions that you're holding on this. So that's all was my job. But then each of you, when you write it down, especially when you pen it down, different emotions keep coming. You rightly said, Robinson sir, when you do it again, it'll be a different experience altogether. So
the first anecdote what you said when we are starting the whole exercise, that about the car incident, I was thinking that is it my story or what? I said
okay.
it to my wife and child. They were saying true, that may happen. Even many times if the road rage happens, then it would, after that we feel why did we did that? It is a small scratch or small things which we must have claimed. So that was a lesson. I learned that to hold on the emotion or whatever we have it on the car or something. It's really, I thought it's my story.
No, but there are people like what you have undergone the experience. There are so many people. So my principle in life is 80% of the problems are very common, right? If you talk to each other generally, and most of the problems are common. I would have come across road rages, people insulting me, putting me on spot, not being able to talk in a public forum. Nothing is new. When I come and share here, you say, oh yeah, I've also undergone that. So when you already know there are so many 80 problems, people have 80% of problems people have facing, and there is different solutions. So what you have to focus is only on the 20 percentage. The moment with you bring the 20% in your control, then I think whatever happens, you will be happy. I'm not saying things will change overnight, but then you know how to handle it. You know what are your triggers. You enjoy life. You stay calm. Whatever road rages, you smile at them and you move on in life because you have better things to do. Right. So that's my whole idea of starting this. I'm so happy that something is sparked in your mind. And please, these are lifelong tools. It's not that just this for workshop, right? Anytime you're losing your focus, you can go ahead and do the exercise that I've given you. That will bring back your focus. At least give you clarity on where are you getting digressed, where are you getting distracted with. Thank you so much for sharing this, sir. Shivkumar.
It's a really amazing experience all these days. And இப்போ சொல்ல போனா எவ்ரி 10 minutes in each days அந்த மாதிரி தான் இந்த கோர்ஸோட ஃப்ரேமே நீங்க பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. அந்த ஒர்க் ஷாப் பண்ணிருக்கிறது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஐ எம் என்ஜாயிங் வென் எவர் டூயிங் த எக்ஸசைசஸ். அது பண்ணும்போது அந்த என்ஜாய்மெண்ட்டோட பண்ணும்போது தான் இட்ஸ் ரியலி அமேசிங் ஃபீலிங்காகவும் இருக்கு. நான் உங்ககிட்ட காலையில் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, அந்த கோல் பற்றி எழுதும்போது வாட் ஐ எக்ஸைட்டட் while doing that. அந்த மாதிரி ஒவ்வொரு பர்ஃபெக்ஷனிசம் நீங்க சொன்னீங்கல்ல, That's what I want in my life. நான் எது செஞ்சாலும் அது இருக்கணும்னு நான் எதிர்பார்ப்பேன். ஸோ ஆல்ரெடி அது என்கிட்ட இருக்கு. ஸோ ரியலி அமேசிங் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் மேம்.
So thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, Shivkumar, go ahead.
This is my first experience in workshop, ma'am. So
Very nice.
I am happy that I participate in that.
Very nice. So what are your 2 key learnings, if I have to ask?
Don't feel afraid of anything to do. First one. Continue the process until you get over that.
Continue the process until it gets over. Very nice. Very nice. Kritika, if I can come back to you and ask you, what are your 2 key learnings out of this?
For me, it is about understanding myself first, like to know myself first. And then the second was, I think that I resonated with was self-belief. Meaning, I had a lot of doubts where those were the limiting beliefs, like they are stopping me from doing a lot of things. So the first 2 exercises were the most connected ones for me. From there, while I was journaling, I got to know where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, etc. And to add on to it, let's keep this as one unit, knowing where to go, what to do. The second thing was about when we had to do this exercise of noticing for every 2 hours where we are spending the time. I discovered that most of it was irrelevant to what I was doing in my life. Like seriously, I at the end of the day, to instead of having this blame or whatever, feeling bad, I think it was a little funny. I had a good smile at myself, saying, why did you have to think about a lot of these things? They are still irrelevant, they're going to be irrelevant. So that gave me a change in perspective. So I made sure that the next day at least, I was making at least 75% of the day something close to what I want to do, something which makes meaning there. I'm becoming more conscious of that as the day goes by. So yeah, that was a very good exercise for me personally.
Thank you so much for sharing. Sir, Robinson, sir.
Yeah, so we were thinking that we were up to the level, and still there is a chance of improvement. And the thing is, if you write it down, so you have put an exercise that the fear of cost of something, and put in a 3 columns. So if you write it down, it gives a more clarity, and also with the repeatedness, it can be somewhere there is a link which we can catch up. And overall, other than this focus, as Kritika said, the 2 hours which we have been noticing what we have been doing all the days. If you see that, probably not more than 2 or 3 hours we do a productive things. After measurement, I found that in the meeting why we are there. If it is not relevant, we have to skip. So some of the meetings I started skipping. I said, if it is not relevant, delegate to someone who plays a role there to make their productivity. So that's what I started learning in this session, and it is really a helpful one for me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for all your inputs. I think it gives me a lot more confidence, because I was thinking, I've authored a book called Break Your Invisible Barriers, which is available in Amazon.com, and that goes a little deeper in terms of how do you manage personally, how do you manage people, and how do you manage a situation. So maybe if you're interested, you can take a look at that and read through. So that kind of, I was thinking when I was writing this book, how should I have to go and educate people? Or maybe educate is a wrong word, for lack of other words, I'm using educate people, or make them aware of everybody has got the potential. It's just that you have to just look, give a little bit of more attention and keep looking at yourself on what you're responding, how you're behaving, what are your skills, and what are your triggers and all that. right? So when you're able to do that, I think it becomes a little more easy for you all to consider that this is my capability and this is the path and this is how I have to do. So you get that clarity. That was my whole objective, and I'm so happy to hear that from all of you that you were able to get something out of this workshop. Hey, hi Priya, thanks for joining. If you
Hello,
could come on
Shah.
a video,
Sorry
it
for
will be
the
great.
delay. Sorry for the delay. I got stuck, and then I got home late from office, and then I had an ad hoc meeting. And sorry for attending
No, no,
late.
no, no. It's okay. I know. I was in. I was really not. See, I didn't realize this. The end of this meeting falls on a working day. It's my bad that I had to do this because I didn't want to push it to Sunday. Yeah, there's a tendency of forgetting it, right? So that's why I thought even if it is for 30, 40 minutes, we'll try to catch up. So we were just going through. You can listen to this video where I'll be posting it in the YouTube. But then the whole concept of what we're trying to ask is how was the workshop and what was your learning from this workshop?
Okay, so first of all, Usha, thank you for the workshop session. Okay, and what I admire is you had the breakup really well, and it was really adaptable. You made it really crisp because it's our human tendency, right? Uh, like when we buy a book, we check for the page numbers also, right? Whether we can read the book within a week or month, or I can just get the content of the book just through someone's review or something like that, right? Likewise, your videos, right? The 5 minutes video makes us to think that, okay, this is a 5 minutes audio which I can listen through, and then I can apply throughout the day whenever I can. So uh, it will not block our day, or else it will not we will not procrastinate to listen to your video. Somehow we will think that, okay, 5 minutes, I'll take the break and then I'll listen to it. Let me see that how I can apply to that, and we will process that within the mind. What I did is I listened through the audio and then I processed it in my mind, and somehow I apply it during the day unconsciously, because it will be there in the mind that I need to do it, that exercise. So it happens. So that was really good. The technique which you followed, right? Being it making it really crisp. So I think that helped me to follow the exercises for the whole week. But today I was not able to do it, as I uh, went to office early in the morning, as I had some workshops and all, and I was not able to listen to your audio and then was not able to do it. But other than that, that was the takeaway for me, and I was able to follow everything, and I was able to realize also, okay, things, right? You made it as like the first exercise, like fear setting technique, the fear and then the potential cost and benefits. When I was listing out uh, the fear, when I was listing out, I was like, okay, I'm able to think through it. And the benefits, when I come through the benefits, I was like, okay, the benefits are really good than the fear. Then I can do that also, because if I can read the benefit, then I can work on the pain points, right? So that was the categorization and the points which you have given was really great, and it is attainable. At least instead of attainable, I can say that some kind of realization it helped to pop out. We cannot say that we can apply it immediately, right? Some kind of realization has been given by the workshop.
Wonderful. That's a whole agenda because see, these are, I was just explaining to everybody, what we are working on is our mind, right? So it's not that easy to change your mind. First of all, you have to trust, and then you have to be open enough to take the whatever the exercises have been given. If you look at the workshop, has got close to 40 plus people. Out of that, maybe around 10 or 12 would have completed the exercise and they were responding, and some would have done but they wouldn't have had, they would have had some hesitation in updating in the WhatsApp. But then the whole to me at least, the objective is to bring some level of an awareness as in what is these invisible barriers. So it takes weeks and months to pick up one barrier and break it, continue to practice. But the only good news is I think it's possible, like how you tame rest of other living things, you can also tame your mind in such a way that you tell your mind this is what you are supposed to be following without enforcing or without putting any conditions. And as you keep doing that, I think it becomes a habit. So that's the whole idea, Priya. Thanks for sharing.
Thank
Great. So I think we are right at 30 minutes. Anything that anybody wants to share?
Just that, thank you, Usha, for
Sure,
doing this. Thank you.
sure, Priya. And I'm planning to kickstart. Now that, see, I'm experimenting multiple ways on how to help people, right? So while money is one aspect, I'm also trying to be a nudge person who will nudge, saying that just go and reflect on your life. You're capable of more than what you think. Is what is my mantra that I want to go and tell people. uh, I'm moving on in a skill based approach. Like, for example, I was thinking, now for the last 10 days I've been giving you different barriers. Now I'm going to focus only on two barriers, which is the comfort zone and time management. So the next workshop is going to be completely focusing only on time management. So all 6 days, we'll have a kickstart, we'll have a closure, and in between, it's going to start on a Sunday and it's going to end on a Sunday. And between Monday to Saturday, all the exercises will be related only to time management. Right. And similarly for the comfort zone, move out of your comfort zone. So all the exercises will be related only to help people on how to move out of their comfort zone. So that's another experiment I'm doing, and hopefully whichever works, that's something that I wanted to take it to the bigger crowd. And please feel free to join if you're interested and if you think it really makes sense for you to go ahead and join. So that's all I have. First, lastly, thank you so much for joining. I know it's a very, very ad hoc meeting that I've called you. It's 9:30, and hope you all have a great life and continue to practice whatever the exercise I've given. And I'm sure you will see the transformation. Whenever you get a transformation, please go ahead and ping me or message me. I would love to hear from you all. Thank you so much. You can stay connected with me through YouTube and Podcaster. Please do subscribe.
Sure, Usha.
Take care, all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.